Hello and welcome to Dynamic DCUO. Follow me here, and today I want to talk about my mental loadout and some adjustments that we made based off the DCUO blog guide. Now, the way the blog guide runs is technically this, with mass levitation, pyrokinesis, telekinetic pull, psychic shock, the robot sidekick, and then invisibility. Now, previously I had been using horrific visage as well as mass levitation, and instead of telekinetic pull, I think I had the cryokinesis in there to throw things into a block of ice. So it was a little bit of a shift, and I was not using the robot. I was really adverse to using the robots, so we decided to experiment with those robot loadouts and see how they went. Now, right off the bat, it was painful to get rid of horrific visage because I love twisting things into monsters, but it has a 6-second cooldown, whereas mass levitation only has a 3-second cooldown, and mass levitation actually gets more ticks off, does more damage, so there is that. And then pyrokinesis will inflict terror on a dazed enemy. It does not negate the daze, both will be active. And then they use the telekinetic pull, which will pull a single target, and dazed enemies take more damage. My preference on that, since I don't always want to pull, is the telekinetic bolt, which shoots a wave of energy kind of in a cone out in front of you. Doesn't do quite as much damage as the pull, but it does hit multiple targets. And then psychic shock is your spam power, and that'll act on the terrified thing. So until you need to refresh terror, you just keep hitting psychic shock, and that works very well. The robot sidekick is there to do a little extra damage. And if you're using this loadout, if you're using up a lot of power and you wind up short on power, maybe don't use the number 3 there. Just focus on your levitation, pyrokinesis, and psychic shock. But also maybe throw in a weapons attack here and there just to get some power back. And that's pretty much how they had it. The other difference is in invisibility, they had a return to normal in there, which I do not, because once you use ambush pain blast, you are returning to normal. And the other variant I used was I have my hard light shield in there, where because on the regular shield, telekinetic shield is not even available in Invis for mental. So that's pretty much how that works. Let's give it a shot and see it in action. Alright, now this will be pretty straightforward. We're going to start off with mass levitate, pyrokinesis, telekinetic bolt, psychic shock for effect. Now you can also throw in the invis for fun, ambush sleep and ambush pain. I'll do the ambush sleep a couple of times to soften them up and then hit them with the pain. That usually finishes them off. Now here I move around the side so that when I do my telekinetic bolt, I get both of them for sure in the effect. Now for Steve Trevor, I've learned if you've got flight, use it. Because he does that nasty old beam that he likes to do, and I tend to miss it. There it is, just after I got up in the air, he throws that beam at me. But I'm not there anymore. And probably on the bosses, I could have used the telekinetic pull instead of the telekinetic bolt, but I don't think it wound up making a whole lot of difference. The bolt wound up getting some of the add-ons. There's that beam again. Now for Lobo, I was surprised that the ambush sleep actually worked. Not every time, but some of the times the ambush sleep and pain actually did work on him. And I thought that was pretty awesome that it does sometimes work on the bosses. Something to keep in mind when you're playing mental. Everything else is pretty much as normal, running through the rotation. Now I did start using the Grimoire Verum artifact. I don't think in this video I've got it up to level yet to where it's really showing up or doing anything, but I do recommend that if you're going to run the sidekick or any other kind of pet, because it just adds to the power of your pets. And Wind has been using the source shard that comes out of the birds of prey. And here I'm in a bad spot, and there comes that fire, and I thought I died. I thought for sure I was dead. It looks like I'm dead. So I was very surprised to find out I was not dead. And I think Lobo was kind of surprised that I was not dead also. Yeah, going toe-to-toe with him is not really a good thing. Now my backup comes out. Yeah, they're really needed. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit like and subscribe. And happy gaming.